I'm going to pass things over to Trustee Blair. He's going to start. We're going to kind of hand off the state of the township here this evening for everybody.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming. The program this evening, our title for it is It's Weathersfield, It's Progress. And the ITS and its has significance. Are we able to move on to our next slide? Innovation, transparency, and solvency. That's what we have prided ourselves on over the last several years. We try to stay ahead of the game. Our budgets are out for a period of 5 years. We try to be as transparent as possible. Everything we do, we try to put right up here in the public eye, put it on the agenda so the public is aware of what's going on. And we're going to highlight some of the things that we have done. And the other thing is solvency. The big key that we have here is providing for our taxpayers, providing for the employees who work here, and count on Weathersfield Township to support their families. We want those employees to have security, and that's why it's very important for us to make sure we have a budget that is balanced out for a period of 5 years. We have taken a number of innovative steps. Many of you may not know, but during Governor Kasich's tenure, he consistently cut funding to local governments. The state built up $2 billion in a rainy day fund, and we lost $600,000 in the first budget that Governor Kasich put on. An environmental regulation came out of Washington. We lost a power plant overnight. That was $96,000 in tax revenue to Weathersfield Township. In response to that, we came up with other things in the legislative toolbox that we could use to generate revenue for the township. We've implemented an impound yard facility. We've implemented traffic speed cameras, and those programs, as well as significant cost-cutting programs, have enabled us to remain financially solvent and also recover the losses that we had. One of the big things that we did is with the cooperation of our employees. We have a couple of collective bargaining units that we work with here. They agreed to give us flexibility in health insurance, and we entered into medical expense reimbursement plans. The first year we entered that program, we cut our insurance premiums by $86,000, and during the subsequent years, there were significant increases to neighboring communities, and we've been able to manage those increases. We have a very active, it's a high labor-intensive program to keep those costs down, but it's working very, very well to control costs. We've been involved with the regional chamber to bring revenue into the township. That has worked very, very well for us. We're finishing our second year and just renewed for a third year of that contract. The first year we got a police transport van grant through our cooperation with the chamber, and last year we were able to secure $150,000 in funding for the Regional Opiate Training Center for law enforcement, as well as our community center that we're going to work on this year. Over the past several years, we have focused on improvement of protection for the township. Our police department has increased both in size and in function, and I'm pleased to announce as we stand here tonight that I think we have one of the best equipped police departments possibly in the state of Ohio, and we also are debt-free in that police department. Just to highlight some of the things we have done, in 2014 we bought 2 police interceptor SUVs. In 2016 we bought 4. In 2017, we bought 1, and then the prisoner transport, which was a grant. And then in 2018, we purchased 6 additional police interceptor SUVs. That completely updated our fleet, and all of those vehicles have been paid off. We have purchased 15 Remington 870 shotguns, 15 Glock 40 caliber handguns, 15 6-hour AR-15s, 15 new tasers, and we have state-of-the-art bulletproof vests for all of our officers. And each one of us want to go home at night knowing that we have our guys in the best equipment possible, and that they are as safe as they can possibly be on dangerous streets. We've also just this year purchased 17 new entry-level vests That was all done through an Attorney General's grant. And then we have now picked up 15 new Toughbook MDTs. Those are our mobile data terminals. We have 3 standalone computers that have been updated. We also have a brand-new state-of-the-art system that allows our officers to write their reports. A lot of the data fills in. It decreases their time for writing their reports and allows them to file electronically. So a lot of that has been done. We also have implemented the School Resource Officer Program with Weathersfield Local Schools. Officer Fields was working in that, and now Officer Rongi is in the schools. He just began that role here recently. And in addition, our other officers are in and out of the schools all the time where they're seeing students and developing those relationships. We are switching our radio communications to the MARC systems. This is a very expensive system that is being mandated by the state, and we anticipate that some of that transition will occur both for police and fire this year. The police department, in addition, has implemented a spot check program for local businesses. These businesses are visited by our officers, and when the officers stop by, check the property, they leave a card behind so the business owners know they've been there. That has been very, very well received. And the K-9 program has continued. Officer Blosser, who is our K-9 officer, trains K-9s throughout the valley, actually throughout the nation, and he is called and relied upon by a number of local departments and assistants. And also, we're in the process of updating our Facebook page and the police department website. So there's a lot going on in the police department, and we continue to work on economic development opportunities with the regional chamber. We have a mixer coming up with local businesses. That'll be coming up, I believe, in the month of April, and that'll be held at our fire department.
Being fiscal officer, the one thing I want to talk about is back in 2011, when the state decided to put the state funds on the internet so that people could see what spending was done and how much and so on for and what for, I spoke with Dave and the trustees and decided that we should probably get into that. Dave went to a meeting in 2012, and after that, I started the process of getting everything put together, and if you go online, you can see the graph spending, and it's all coded by color, tells you how much we spend in whatever department you want to find. And then down below it, there's actually physical dollars there that you can scroll through and see. But it's a good thing. I don't think we get enough people looking at it. If you go to weathersfieldtownship.org, go onto the website, and down in the lower left-hand corner, it says checkbook. Once you check on that, then you go back over to a column over here and highlight the checkbook, and it brings everything up. It'll tell you exactly what we spent, how much we spent. It doesn't tell you why, but if you come to the meetings, you'll find out. So we're proud of it, and we've got, through 2017, UAN will be loading our 2018 within the next month, so we're way ahead of the game. We've told people we have it. Please go on and take a look at it. I go on it every week, and I don't find people looking at it. Now, maybe everybody doesn't have a computer, but if you have a computer, you can find out what we're spending, how and why. Other than that, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
As Trustee Blair had mentioned, we do work hard. We try to leverage our money with grant money to make that go further, make our roads get paved, more miles of road for less. We have great relationships with the county commissioners, the county engineer. Just in the last few years, we've resurfaced and sealed over 30 miles of township roads. We're planning on doing 19 more miles this year. The Trumbull County engineer actually will come out and do the sealing of our roads. It's a new process. It's a new material. It's actually recycling old roads. The tar is still in the grindings from the old roads, and then there's not as much dust. There's not as much loose stone on the roads. It really seals the roads up, tightens them up. makes everything real nice for us. We've had a lot of compliments on the roads, and especially from other people that travel through our townships. You know, there's always the comments how good a shape our roads are. I know if you travel around, everybody knows that as well. One of the projects that's very near and dear to all of us, the heat and shoot area of our township has been without sanitary sewers forever. There's actually raw sewage that flows through the ditches in that area. There's health concerns. It's very bad. We went to the county commissioners, the sanitary engineer. With their help, they applied for a grant on our behalf, and we're happy to say that project should be starting this fall. That'll be a game changer in that area of the that area of the township. It will raise their property values. It'll make people in that area safe, you know, from the dangers of sewage. There's a few other areas in the township that still don't have sewer service. We're working on right down at the intersection of Salt Springs Road and Route 46. Engineering's underway to get that area sewered. Again, that's very important, especially in the business district of the township.
Well, first of all, I'd like everyone to realize that Dirtburg come up with a good idea of Weathersfield Township for everyone. And if you look at it, it's the town for everyone, you know. That's a pretty good idea. That goes to the youngest boy on
I can't take all that.
He don't want to take all the credit, but he had the one underlined the letters, okay. Weathersfield Township has come a long ways in the last 10 to 12 years. A long way. As far as, I sat here in my first couple of years, and we talked about maybe getting a study from Penn State to see if we could be annexed into Niles. And then things began to change. And it's really been going really well. Let's just hope it can stay like that for the next 20, 30 years. And the way it is I have a little corn stand up on 46, and I was trustee for about a month probably, and a guy come up there with soap in his hair, stuck his head right across the thing and said, "Look at that, you're a trustee." And I didn't know what he's talking about. And he let me know that our water pressure here in Mineral Ridge and how poor it was. So I talked with Randy, our fire chief at the time. And Randy and I sat there many Thursday mornings and talked about a water tower. And everybody laughed at me. So, you know, where are you going to put it? We don't need it. So a lot of people need water pressure, but they don't want to tell people because they don't want people to know that in case they want to sell their house, they don't have good water pressure, okay? And that's just the way people are. But we are going to get that water tower. I want you to know. You're going to see it. And it's starting this spring, I hope. Now, I said that last year, and they didn't start it, so I'm a little hesitant to say it again. But Gil has told me times in some of our meetings when we meet with some of the commissioners, you know, you realize you asked Food about that water tower about 6 or 7 times before we got out of here, and you've got to just keep pushing it, okay? So our water tower project for Mineral Ridge will start, I hope, this spring, and we'll have some pressure enough to put the fire out in case we have a fire down at the school. And also, water lines are going to be running along Niles Carver Road, east of 4 Mile Run Road. You know, those people don't have city water. They have well water, and now they're going to get the water line run there. And Main Street, we've always talked about how we're going to get it widened. Well, they are going to widen it from Webb Road down to Lincoln. And they've already started. You'll notice they cut the trees here in the last few weeks. And then they're also going to make a left-hand turn going up, or right-hand turn going up county line, and then also making the left-hand lane so they can go on straight on through with the traffic. That's going to help the flow a lot. But then we also are looking at widening it all the way up later on, by at least 2025. And that'll be just making a lane right down the middle. But if you'll notice, well, the houses are really close. You look at those ones down there on Webb Road, man, then they go right up to those big houses. And then we have an engineering study underway for our sanitary sewer in the remaining portions of McKinley Heights area. And we're also hoping to get a water line extension along Steel Wagon Road. And it's awful hard to talk to people about getting a water line extension when you can stand in your yard and look up and see the water tower. And they've been going without water from until now, and still they're going without. You know, they have to have a well water. So those are things that are very important, and we hope to have our township, our main cemetery curb paved this spring, and we hope to have that done before Memorial Day. And that's the blacktop, not everybody's favorite line, gravel and catcher. Okay, it's going to be blacktop. That's all I have to say. But that water tower is going to be a lot of help to a lot of people. We'll see some smiles on some faces.
Okay, I'm going to be very quick on the building. This is going to be a huge development for Weathersfield Township. As many of you know, in our community park, we have the Flag Day Festival that started this will be the 6th year coming up. We have the Easter egg hunt now. We have the tree lighting. A number of other public events go on up there. It's used by the Little Rams and the cheerleaders for a number of events. But we are planning to build a community center, law enforcement training center up there. Construction, we anticipate, will begin later this year, and this is going to be a tremendous facility. On the front end of it is going to be a state-of-the-art opiate training center for law enforcement. Many of you don't know, but in Weathersfield, because of our truck stops, because of the interstate, the FBI works here, the Highway Patrol works here, ICE works here, a number of other agencies, sometimes DEA, along with the Sheriff's Department, the Area Drug Task Force. This is going to be a center where we can do training that can actually be interactive training, where officers can spend part of the day in a classroom and then hop in the cruisers with our police department, Youngstown PD, Warren, Niles, and actually go out on drug interdiction and learn about the opiate process. Many people in rural Ohio don't really know what an opiate stop looks like. They don't really know what to look for, and they don't know how to conduct it. Our guys are excellent at this. Also, we can train people interested in canine, and I don't think there's any family in this room that has not been touched in some way by the opiate crisis, either a friend, a neighbor, friend's relative, whatever. The other side of this building is going to be a public use building, and it's going to have dual purposes. The seating and entertainment area will have seating for upwards of 450 people. So it will be available for our fire department. It will be available for use by residents, for parties, receptions, things like that. And also, we've been in talks with the Trumbull County Library Association. It appears very favorable that they wish to have a site in this building where they will have an interactive learning center, children's library, and a number of other things. We have talked with Huntington Bank. We believe they're going to post an ATM in the facility, and also we hope to bring back post office boxes for some residents who lost that when the post office closed in Mineral Lake proper, and also the ability to purchase stamps and other things. This building is also planned to have a cafe, and the most important thing is for our seniors, when they come up to the festival or come up to a tree lighting, we're going to have public restrooms that are opened and heated, and facilities that elderly residents and people with some health problems can utilize. So it will have a stage in it, and We've also talked with the City of Niles and their Park and Recreations Department, and we recently negotiated a reduced rate for Weathersfield residents at the Wellness Center for memberships. Their hope is that our facility will provide the classroom aspect for certain education programs that they can't provide at the Wellness Center. So this is a building with a lot of potential, and we have had some discussions on it, and hopefully it'll be up by the end of the year.
The last page of our presentation here, today actually construction started at the park. This is an example, but we're building a short retaining wall. Of course, it's going to dress up the park, the front of the park from Route 46 when you're viewing it from Jesse's Ice Cream. It's going to also provide some security and protection for the park from vehicles entering when there's events going on. So we're very excited about that. Our wall that we're going to be building here in the township. Again, it's going to be a beautiful asset to the park, and it's going to be functional as well. There's going to be steps to go down so you can get onto the sidewalk and cross 46 if you choose. And again, it's just another thing to make that park look more beautiful and protect the people when they're there. As we move on, I don't know if anybody has questions on our presentation. If you do, we'd surely be happy to entertain those. If there's any other comments. Thank you for your attention, and we'll move on with our